Hey Matt, fried rice, one of those great dishes I was always scared to make until I saw a recipe and really realized how easy it is to make. It's a wonderful versatile dish. You start off with some leftover cold rice and you kind of throw whatever you got around into it. So it's a great dish and it's almost impossible to screw up. Hardest thing for me is making the rice. Usually I will use white rice, which is tough to say in and itself, white rice. 1 cup rice, 2 cups water in a tight fitting pot. Bring it to a boil. And then let it simmer for 15 minutes. I've been experimenting with brown rice, a little bit tougher to cook, but a little bit nuttier and a little bit healthier. So I've been trying with that. So basically what you do is start off with some, or if you got leftover rice from Chinese the night before, whatever, you got some leftover rice, that's the best. You make the rice, put it in the fridge, let it sit overnight. And from there, you start your fried rice. So, here we go, making fried rice. Alright, it's the next day. The most difficult thing about the fried rice is gathering everything up. We've got the cold rice, been sitting in the fridge for a day. So that's set. You're going to need oil for the wok. Peanut oil is the best, imparts a little peanut flavor. Also, woks concentrate the heat, high flash point. Peanut oil burns at a higher rate, higher flash point. So it's really good for woks. Olive oil you don't want to use. Olive oil can burn in a wok really easily. If you don't use peanut oil, use good vegetable oil. Soy sauce. And then whatever I've got around I've cut up. I've got my savories, onions, 2 cloves of garlic, about this size of an onion, a little bit smaller, 2 cloves of garlic, and of course I've always got some green peppers laying around, chop that up. For vegetables, I've got some carrots. Just scrub those, don't peel them, just scrub them clean. Skin has got all the vitamins in them. Also picked up a can of water chestnuts, sliced. And I'm going to throw some, I've got some frozen green peas. I'm going to throw some of those in there. Also, Katie's favorite part, the egg. And then, apologies to Katie, but I've got some leftover chicken I'm going to throw in there. So again, fried rice, great versatility because you can throw whatever you've got around, you can throw in there. So it's great for using up leftovers and whatnot. So the only other thing is you're going to start with the egg and you're going to work with the harder to cook stuff first. So the harder stuff, the harder it is, the longer it takes to cook. So carrots, water chestnuts, etc. Also, if you don't have any cooked meat, cook it beforehand. Chop it up, stir fry it up, and do it. You don't want to be throwing any raw meat into fried rice. Everything should be, any meat product should be cooked. So let's do some stir fry. So I've got my other stuff over here ready to go. One other thing I forgot to tell you, have your empty bowl or have an empty bowl ready to transfer because you might have to cook in batches. If you've got a lot of stuff with a wok, what you can do is stir fry some of it and then put it in the bowl, stir fry some more stuff, put it in the bowl, and at the end put everything back in and kind of warm it through. So we're going to start with some of the peanut oil in there just to make sure everything doesn't stick. And you can see it's smoking right away, so it's good and hot. I'm going to start with the egg. You want to stir that up. Matter of cracking it in there. Now this is a non-stick pan. It's not doing a very good job of not sticking. And with a stainless steel wok or steel wok, you want to make sure that you use plenty of oil to make sure that egg doesn't stick. So I'm going to fry this up and then put it in my bowl. So I'm going to heat up again. Also, if you cook in batches with a wok, you've got to let the wok come back up to temperature. So you gotta let it heat up a little bit. So I've got my egg done. Basically now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my savories, so the onions, the peppers, and the garlic. And throw that in there. And again, because woks have such high heat, it doesn't take very long for it to cook. You can already see the onions in there browning. Also, if you're ever worried about it getting a little too dry, always add a little bit of oil right on top if you want. And I'm going to start with the stuff that takes longer to cook, so the harder stuff like carrots. And water chestnuts are not far behind. Okay, I'm throwing in some frozen peas. And again, frozen corn, any frozen vegetable you got, you can throw in there. Makes it very nice. Always be stirring the wok. Again, because it does heat up so high, if you leave it sit too long, it's going to burn. So you've got to kind of watch your wok. So now I'm adding my cooked chicken. At this point, all I'm doing is heating it up. So again, just another minute or so. Okay, I'm going to add the egg back in. Okay. And time for the rice. Now again, I'll throw the rice on there. I'll let it sit for a little bit. That really gets all the other stuff underneath it really nice and warm through. But again, you can't let that happen too long because it'll start burning. So back to stirring. The seasoning. Soy sauce is what really gives fried rice its brown flavor or brown color, and not so much the frying of it. I don't add a lot of soy sauce. It tends to be very salty. I also will not add other spices to fried rice, just because again that leaves it open to season. Everyone can kind of season their own. People can add salt and pepper to their own. And I'm going to add just a little bit more and finish this off. So that's it, fried rice. The amount of stuff that you put in there varies. It can be as much or as little as you want. You can have a lot of stuff and very little rice, or a lot of rice and not a little stuff. There is really no set recipe or set ratio, which again is the reason it's so fantastic, so versatile like that. And it's always good, so enjoy.